All right, today I did a verse of the day from Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21. And it said, "You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail." And I think that's so fitting in life because we have so many plans, and then life hits, adversity hits, um, and then we have to bounce back from it. So my first takeaway I wrote about was a setback is just as important as an achievement, like a step forward. So, because a setback teaches you what doesn't work, what I need to fix. It shows you your weakness. It shows you your room for improvement. So when you fail, don't slump about it, but learn from it. Like that's the biggest thing with failure. Like I notice, like in the gym, everybody goes to failure because they know it's most optimal to grow. Um, but like you go anywhere else in life, and everyone's so afraid of failure. It's like people go to failure in the gym because they know, like, your muscle failed, now it's going to learn from that and grow. But we're so afraid to fail in other aspects of our lives because we don't want to look bad in front of others. But failure is where we grow, so we need to find failure. So that was a good analogy I once heard. But then I kind of just talked about, like, I think we just need to have this faith that, like, if we're committed to really living the life that Jesus did, like, in the end, it's all going to work out. Like, I just think there's beauty in that faith that, like, I just trust, like, even when you're going through a hard time, even when you're, like, suffering, like, even when you're going through something you don't want, like, I think there's a greater purpose for this. And I was listening on a podcast, and it said, like, oftentimes when we suffer, people will be like, why? Like, why am I going through this? And God usually won't reveal that to you right away. Maybe later he will. But what he will reveal to you isn't the why, but the who. And the who is Jesus. And then the question comes, do you trust him? And then I wrote, I'd probably trust the one who created life. Because that's what we're a part of. We're in this game called life. And it comes down to, do we trust in ourselves, or do we trust in the person who started this all? Because suffering can be hard, and you might not understand why, but it will be revealed to you. I truly do believe that. But God will reveal the who immediately, and that's Jesus. And then it comes down to, do you have your trust in him or not? You know, there's times in my life where I didn't know why certain things were happening to me. A big example for me, I was huge into basketball, and like that was my identity, you know? Like that's where I found my validation. Junior year, I had like multiple injuries that year, but like one was a surgery, and that really cost me, like that had me sitting out for a while. You know, I wasn't playing basketball, and like all my validation all of a sudden was gone. And that really, like, I didn't know why this was happening to me. I was like, what, like, you know, talking to God, like, why can't I play? Like, why can't I, you know, do my favorite thing? But that really taught me, like, my identity wasn't in God. It was in basketball, and I didn't understand why I had to have that taken away from me, you know, because all I cared about was people's opinions on how I played, not about who I was as a person. And I didn't care about God's opinion at all. You know, it wasn't about what he thought of me. It was about what my classmates, what my teammates, what my coaches, what my parents thought about me. So that was big for me, and I didn't understand why I had to have basketball taken away from me for a bit. And I didn't understand why I couldn't play, or why I was injured, or why I was going through all this. But then I realized, like, wait, like, that helped me really get back into the Bible, and that really got me right. And I realized true satisfaction comes when your identity is in Jesus, because people won't remember much about you besides one thing. Like, I'm talking high school, like, people will remember one thing, and that's how you treated them. And that's what God really taught me. And that's what I tried to really implement the end of my junior year and all of my senior year, was just be a good person, be the best person you can be, because that's what people will remember. So obviously make plans, set goals, But when you face adversity, learn to grow from it, and trust that, like, in the end, if you have the faith that it's all going to work out, and you just keep pushing and you learn from your mistakes and keep growing, it'll all work out in the end.